love of his life, 1946, to whom he was married for 56 years before she passed in 2002. One of the things that I will always remember is as a grandson, looking at my grandparents, how much they loved each other. And I didn't see every day. I didn't see before me what their lives were like, but I know especially when Mama had her surgery and had her leg amputated, I know that Pawpaw was there. He wheeled her around everywhere, took her anywhere. I think the one time he couldn't make it back to pick her up, she took her leg off, jumped in the truck, drove to church. I think he was, needless to say, a little upset about that, made sure that that wasn't going to happen again. But I love the legacy that our grandparents left for us. Pawpaw fought for his country, World War II. I think Mama's Bible said from 43 to 46. And in the Korean conflict, 1950, 1951, one of the pictures that he copied and passed around for all of us to have was of him at, I guess it was Kelly Air Force Base. President Kennedy flew in, and you have the picture of Pawpaw there defending the president, securing the president and his family, the entourage, a day before President Kennedy was shot and killed when he drove to Dallas. Pawpaw was a hard-working man. From what I know and just from looking at his hands, he's a man who worked hard every day of his life. Even when he had nowhere that was paying him to work, he still worked hard. There's a couple of piles of rocks around his house that are a testament to the hard work that he wanted to, that was just a part of his life. I don't think he knew anything else. He grew up during a really, really tough time in our country, and where most Americans had nothing, and had to work hard for everything that they had, and that's something that stuck with him, and that's a value I think that he passes on as a legacy, because I see it in my cousins and my family, people who are willing to work hard. Another legacy that I see is someone who's willing to provide when they had nothing, and that's something I know that we always had. We had a place to come for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, always had somewhere to come where we could all be together, where we knew that we could laugh and we could cry and we could make fun of each other, and we could pray together, and we could eat together. And I love that's continued, even though after Mama passed and when they even weren't able to host the whole family anymore, Lola continued that, Lola and Ernie, and we always still had a place to come, be together as a family. And we're such a weird family. And nobody understands us more than ourselves. And so I'm glad we have a place to come and be together. I love knowing that every year as I celebrate my birthday, I'll be able to remember celebrating PawPaw's birthday too. That was always special. I was looking through some pictures the other day, and not for anything particular, just picked up a group of pictures, looking through them, and there was three birthdays where Pawpaw and I had a cake in between us, and both of us pointing at the other. Him trying to hold up how many years he was. Probably had to take off his shoes to do that too. That was always special to me. As a grandkid, he was a great grandfather and loved us. Deborah was talking about last night when she saw how he acted with her boys. She just thought, who is this? Well, that's not what we got when we were growing up. But he was so I know that there were times when Mark and Trey and Wyatt and Amy were around him a lot more than we were growing up, and I know there were times that he was probably rough or had to be stern at times, but I just remember him being so gentle and soft and kind. And, one thing I will always remember about PawPaw's is laugh. It was infectious.
Yes.
As soon as he laughed, he just started laughing. Everybody did. Whether he's laughing at Bugs Bunny, whether he's laughing when he just gives you a hug to say hi. I always remember that. Every time I first see PawPaw, give him a hug, and he starts laughing. And it was just the joy overflowing from his heart because somebody loved him and he loved them back. I know, I think Leah had said something about his strong hands. She'll always remember his hands. His hands were so strong and so big. And, he was a strong man. And I know, just learning some things about his past, he had to grow up strong and he had to grow up tough, and that's a legacy for all of us to remember that we were brought together and brought into this world by a strong man and a strong woman who had a strong love for each other. 56 years. That's strong love that can overcome about anything. I'm so thankful that PawPaw loved Jesus and that he loved God. That he had his faults and mistakes, but he gave his life to God. He gave his life to Christ many years ago, and because of that, those mistakes are forgiven. They're taken away. I love that that's a legacy that's passed on in our family, to know that it doesn't take a perfect person to love God. It takes a very imperfect person to love God, and to know how important it is to have God in your life because of all of our imperfections. He served in the church as an elder for many years, as a song leader too, and he was all about being in church, getting his family in church, making sure everybody was in church, and that's important for us to remember. That was something that was important to him, and even if we don't have the same value in church as he does, or he did, it's what he knew and believed was the right thing because of his love for God, and I think that's something that carries on, that love for God, allowing it to move us and motivate us in a way to respond to the love that God gives to us. I know one of the things that I am especially comforted by is to know the words of Jesus in John chapter 11, when Jesus is walking into a situation that's filled with grief and sadness. Friends of his, Mary and Martha, are grieving because they've lost their brother Lazarus, and knowing that Jesus could have healed him, knowing that Jesus could have done something to keep him from dying. They told Jesus as he walked in, their brother's been dead for 4 days. You could have done something if you were here, but we believe in who you are. We believe that anything can happen. And Jesus' words were pretty simple, and he basically said, I am the resurrection and the life. And anyone who believes in me, even though he dies, will live. I love knowing that PawPaw and Mama still live. That thought immediately occurred to me when I heard that PawPaw had passed. That they still live, and that hole in PawPaw's heart that's been there since 2002, that it was finally filled again. I love the thought of Mama and PawPaw doing a little two-step together. I don't know how many years it's been since they were able to do that. But Mama liked to wheelchair dance a little bit. it's just not the same. I love the thought of them being together again. And it's because of what Jesus said and the fact that what he said is true. Anyone who lives and believes in me will never really ultimately die. There might be some other memories that somebody has. I know that they will be shared, have been shared, and will be shared over and over. Those are the things that stick out to me. I love you all. I appreciate you all in more ways than you know. I'm comforted that we can all be together during this time to hopefully find some closure and some peace and some hope and to come to truly appreciate the words of the psalmist in Psalm 23, who talks about our Lord as being a shepherd who walks us by the quiet waters, who makes us lie down in green pastures, who restores our soul. A shepherd who tends to our needs, who cares for us, who makes sure that we're taken to places where our souls can be nourished for whatever they need, for hope or for peace or for comfort or for joy or to find some joy again. A shepherd who leads us even through the valley of the shadow of death, but a shepherd who ensures that we don't have to be afraid because he's always with us. His rod, his staff, they comfort us. A shepherd who anoints us with oil even in the presence of those who despise us or hate us or wish harm upon us. A shepherd who allows his loving kindness, his mercy to follow us every day of our lives. A shepherd who is our Lord and our God. So as we say goodbye today in an official way, I hope we can all find some comfort and peace in the Lord, our shepherd, and in the love and faith of a man who loved his family, a man who lived 89 hard years, good years, years filled with faith and love.